How's it going, everybody? Merry Christmas. A little early, but Merry Christmas. And yeah, today we're going to do a little project. I'm building this for my kids to give to my father. So what I've decided to do was I'm going to make a saw, and on it we're going to write, "You are the best grandpa I ever saw." And my dad is a carpenter, so this is going to be a great gift for him. So tools needed for this job are, there's other ways you could do this. Like if you have a bandsaw, use that. I don't. So you are going to need a jigsaw. You're going to either need to be an artist, or you can take a handsaw. This is a Stanley handsaw, just with the cover on it. And you're going to need that for tracing. Now, I'm making this rather large because so it can hang in my dad's shop, and I'm going to put hooks on the top once it's all cut out of wood. And where are they? Yeah. So yeah, once this is all cut out of wood, this will hang, and we'll write on it like this. So now you could do this size. Say you could do it like this, like a box saw. This is a real old one here. I've got a whole bunch of these old box saws here, and I'm not sure if that's actually the name, but they're a miter box saw. So you could do it like this. And you know, these, you can get ones that are pretty ornate or whatever, but you could draw this out yourself too if you'd like. But I'm going to use this as a template for mine. So there's that, and you're also going to need a board. So this is a piece of grade 5 good one side pine. It's 1x12, so you obviously don't need to use this. You could use any kind of wood. I recommend staying with a softwood for this type of application, just because it'll be easier to cut, it'll be easier to sand, and nobody's stepping on it, nobody's going to ever touch it. It's something that just hangs there. So I would recommend going with pine or spruce or whatever is your local softwood. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do here. And so that's pretty much all you need for tools. Obviously a pencil, tape measure you don't really need because you're just tracing, and let's get to it. Okay, so what you want to do is lay your saw out on your board, and you're going to take a pencil and you're just going to trace it out. And this will help you give you nice straight lines. And then I lined it up with the bottom of the board because that'll save me from cutting it. And I'm going to have to put all the little notches in for the blade, so we'll do that later though. So then I come up here, trace out this, and then trace out the inside handle. And this one has a little groove here which I'm not going to cut in. So there we go. Now that that's traced out, now we're going to have to cut out a few different cuts. We're going to have to cut out the inside of this. So you are going to need a drill bit to drill through first so that you can get your bits or your jigsaw started in there. So let me just grab that. Okay, so you're just going to take your bit and start it up in the corner there. There we go. And now I recommend cutting out this part of the handle first before you cut out the rest, just because now you have all the strength of all this wood around while you're cutting this out, and it'll be a lot easier. The chance of breaking this pine off is a lot less. Now you do have to be careful. Right now I've got the pattern is going to go across the grain, so that should be just fine. It shouldn't break. So then we'll take the jigsaw here and get this all cut out. this is, yes, I traced this, and you know, I lost my pencil too. But I mean, I am going to change this just a tiny bit because here at the bottom it's really thin, and that's, I think, a little bit unnecessary. So I kind of want to beef that up a little bit. Now if I could find my pencil. I lost it. Oh, there it is. Okay. So I'm just going to take this and just kind of shape it a little more like this. Hopefully you guys can see that. And just kind of change the way that comes in, and that'll just make it a little more uniform looking. Same as on this side. And just, you know, have some fun with it. So now I will cut out the rest of it, and we'll get to sanding it and cutting all the teeth out of it, and that. So now it might actually be smart to cut all of these triangles first, because like I said, I got this big heavy board here and it's going to keep itself in place. So I'm just going to find something here that I can use to do these little squares, and I'll be right back. Okay, so all I did was just find a little piece of metal here and then marked a line along it. And now I'm just going to take this, line it up on the edge. Actually, maybe I'll start from the other end here. And I just line up the bottom of that tooth to the next tooth, and so on and so on. And obviously I'm making these teeth exaggerated. They'd never be this big, but I think it will look a little nicer. And we'll be back here in a minute when I get these all traced out. Okay guys, well, now I got those all marked out, and we'll do the same thing. We'll take the jigsaw and we're going to cut in on both sides in each tooth, and we'll go along. So I will probably just fast forward through this. Okay guys, there's all the sawtooths cut out now, and now we will cut the actual saw out and go from there. And now keep in mind, when you're cutting all this out, you don't have to get right to the line. You're going to go around and have to sand everything anyways, so yeah, you don't have to worry about being too particular about it. Okay, so there's what's left over of the board, and here's the saw cut out. Now, this part is really kind of up to you, how much you want to go around and sand everything. I am going to do, you know, clean up all of the edges. I've got to sand all on the inside here. I may even take the router and route this and this outside edge here, and once I get it sanded down, and then that will help me just get rid of some of this edge here, and then I will kind of sand through all of that. So we'll get set up here to sand. Okay, so I'm using a desktop sander, and you don't have to use this. You can use your hands and or or a handheld sander too, which I'll be using a combination of them both. So where all the lines are, and I'm going to try to sand and get all this all nice and smooth. Okay, so now that I've got it pretty close to the shape that I want, just a quick sand, and now I'm gonna hook up the hand sander and actually use a piece of sandpaper and start cleaning up these edges, and then I can route them and then really start cleaning everything else up. Okay, so as you can see, as I just knocked these edges off, now I'm going to take the hand sandpaper and actually go around, and I've got to do all the teeth and all of that. So I'll bring you back once I've got all that done. Okay, guys, I just had to run to the store and grab a few more things. I went and I picked up these little fancy tacks, and after everything is painted, they're going to go up here just as a little decoration on the saw. So I picked up silver paint for the blade, and I'm going to stain the top portion of this to give it some character between the two. So instead of doing this, I was originally going to do this black and this silver, but I think doing it with the wood grain is going to look a lot nicer. So that's the plan. And so I had to get some tape here, and we're going to tape off the edge. Where we don't. Now I'm probably not going to get any paint this far up on it, but paint or tape is cheap, so you might as well tape it all up really good. This way I don't have to worry about the spray paint getting through. Everything is sealed up now, and when I take this off I should get a half decent edge on it. Okay, so everything's taped off there. Got some newspaper underneath here, and the key is with spray painting is to do light coats. First thing people usually do when they start to put paint on is they think they need to get that really thick on there and get good coverage. It's actually the opposite of what you want to do. Same as it goes for wood as for steel. You want to put several light coats, and I'll show you here, and you will absolutely get your best finish that way. So you want to make sure your can's nicely shaken up and it's nice and warm. I've got the wood stove rocking in here, so it's got to be 30 degrees in here right now. I'm going to prop the door open to get some good ventilation, and here we go. Okay, so one super light coat, just little tiny sprays, just to give it a coat, and we're going to let that dry here for a few minutes, and I'm going to do the same on the opposite side, and then we'll be back when I start on the handle. So we'll be right back. Okay guys, well now I've got the bottom part of the saw all painted. I got the tape off the top, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start staining the top. And now you got to be careful not to go over this line. It shouldn't stick to that paint anyways, but just to be careful, I wouldn't. So we're going to stain this with a red mahogany stain. There you have it, all pretty much finished. What we got to do is write on it. I'm going to have my wife do that because I'm not the neatest writer. So I'm going to let her do that, and then I'm going to go over everything with Varathane to give it a nice shine. and that will seal everything. So once she gets that done, I will bring you back, and we'll show you it all written out, and then we'll throw the Varathane on here, and it'll be ready to the hooks to go in, and then it can be hung. So alright, we'll talk to everybody shortly. Okay guys, well, last night I, by the wood stove, put the Varathane on, had the wife write on for me here, and I got them all to sign their names on the back, and now it's all nicely dried. Now we can, we're going to attach the tacks and the hooks. So I bought these kind of tacks. Now you can go usually to the hardware store and you can get all different kinds of fancy tacks. Now I've been thinking on what the best way is to do it here, if I just put one or do I put them all the way down. I think that's going to be a preference, so I decided last night that I'm going to do one here and one here, kind of lined up with the edge of the handle. So right where I'm hammering, I'm going to put some support. One. And by no means do you have to do this part, but for a couple dollars extra, and I'll end up with, you know, a bunch of extra that I can use on another project that I may do. So it's worth it, I think. Okay, so there's the little buttons on there. Try to get you in frame here. So we have that, and then two little hooks. Now you can pick whatever color hook you'd like. I already pre-drilled it before I varnished, so they will just screw in these holes. Just like so. Okay guys, well, it's got the two little hooks here, and now I can add chain or whatever when my kids give it to my father for Christmas. Then he's going to, I'll let him figure out however he wants to hang it inside his shop. So, because he does carpentry too, so he will he'll love this for years to come. I'm quite sure of it. He'll look at it every day. He lives about 20 hours from us, so yeah, so he's coming down for Christmas, and this is going to be a surprise gift for him. But see, something so easy like this, you know, you go out and spend $20–$30 easily for something like this at you know, like a shop that sells this type of stuff, and you know, with a few dollars and a few tools, you can make something like this yourself and give it away as a gift, and you know, it costs you minimal money, and the memories are there forever. So alright guys, well, thanks for checking out this video, and please remember to subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and as always, if you could click that thumbs up button, would be greatly appreciated. Everybody have a great day.